Welcome to another Live Wire Sports Media Update. All right, so I watched the Indiana Fever game last night. I did my post-game video to it last night as well, but there's some stuff that still bother me of this game where I need to get off my chest. I listen to a lot of people podcasts, and some that who ain't really Indiana Fever fan or Caitlin Clark fan just have opinions that always think they know basketball or they think they know the game, and they just out here talking and trying to make a mockery of because Caitlin Clark and the Fever lost to the Aces 2 games straight and talking about how they shut down the MVP conversation. It don't matter what you think. She's already in the MVP conversation. She might not win MVP, but she's in their consideration of an MVP candidate. Not saying she's going to be MVP. So always know the difference of the two before you start just out here running your mouth. But nonetheless, that's a topic for another day. I want to focus on Indiana Fever. 2 games that they had against the Las Vegas Aces. Bad. Both games bad. And people want us to, well, I'll speak for myself. People want you to stop talking about Christie's size and saying, oh, she was not total blame of the game and everything. Yeah, there's a lot of blame in this game to go around. One, I blame Caitlin for not keeping her emotions in check. She knows that she had 5 techs. She cannot have outbursts. She cannot get another tech in the game. You know what I'm saying? You can't lose the focus, especially when you playing playoff basketball type atmosphere coming down to the end of the season. You need to genuinely keep your emotions in check. If you don't get a foul, move on, period. That's just point blank, period. Move on. That's all I'm going to say about Caitlin Clark. Now I'm going to talk about Christy Sides and the incompetent decisions she continues to make with this team. Remember the first 8 games of the season, we was calling for Christy Sides' head because she didn't know how to use Caitlin Clark. Kelsey Mitchell was not playing in the system. She was feeding the ball to Lea Boston. And to me, Aliyah Boston has talent, but she's soft, man. She's soft. She literally let Chelsea Gray bully her last night. Like, wrestled the ball. Yeah, Aliyah Boston got the ball for a tie-up, but at the same time, she let Chelsea Gray flex on her, shook her shoulders like, yeah, I got you on the ground. They was literally bullying the Indiana Fever. And there, to me, the only person looked like they have fight is Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. Timmy Fan Bingley. You know what I'm saying? Alyssa Smith ain't gonna do nothing. Katie Lou will get scrappy in there. But Lea Boston ain't gonna do nothing. She sits there, whine, complains to the referee, and then, she wants to, when Caitlin gets upset, she wants to be there to talk to Caitlin. But then a couple of games ago, when Caitlin trying to talk to you and tell you, hey, chill out, you want to snap back at her. You know what I'm saying? And put up your finger. So, oh yeah, I pay attention to a lot of the stuff in the game. And I just hold it for certain times like this. See, the thing about it is, Christy Sides wants to have all this confidence in Lea Boston. This is not preseason. This is not preseason at all. You do that, experiment in the preseason shooting threes. When you're a 28% three-point shooter, and I don't want to hear about her doing this in practice. She trying to build her confidence, to be like a game winner, and take the last shot at the end of the game. She ain't been doing it before. She done take threes in the middle of the game and still didn't hit none. So what makes you think that she was going to hit the game winner shot last night? When you got your highest 3-point percentage shooter in Lexi Hall since the break, Clayton Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Damiris Dantes. You could have put them four on the court. You could have easily spread it out. You got your 3-point. You got a 3-point specialist throwing the ball in when Lea Boston should have been bringing the ball in, throwing the ball inbounds. She's bigger. She could have easily got the ball to Caitlin. Caitlin could probably, Dantes probably could have flared off on the screen. She could have got in and flared off on the screen for Kelsey, Lexi. Dantes could have did the high-low screen where Caitlin could have got the ball back to her, or Kelsey could have got the ball back. There were so many scenarios, but the ball got to Kelsey's hand and she dribble penetrate. I would have better suited if Kelsey had dribble penetrate, step back, and shot the three from there instead of passing it to Lea Boston. Lea Boston was wide open, in and out. Yeah, if she had hit it, we would have had a different story of the day. Yeah, I get it. But damn it, she didn't. So now we here with it. She needed to draw up a play. Then Christy Size sits there and say, well, Aliyah Boston came to me and told me, do you want to run that or whatever? Why you ain't listening to Caitlin or Kelsey Mitchell, who are the two highest scoring duels since then? Both of them is the first duo to ever have 100 3-pointers in a season. And you can't trust them to take the last shot? You can't trust your highest 3-point specialist? Dantes came and gave you some good minutes when Aliyah Boston got hit in the face and she had to run to the doggone locker room. She didn't do nothing in the first half. Caitlin Clark didn't do nothing in the first half. But guess what? Caitlin came and made a stamp in the second half. She didn't score no points in the first half. Kelsey Mitchell had about 14 points in the first half. She only had 1 point in the second half. Caitlin didn't score again. She only had 4 points in the fourth quarter. No movement of the basketball. No getting none of them open. There was a few times that Lexi Hall was open. There was no plays draw for her to get her free to hit some shots. Maybe if Lexi Hall had a couple of shots, we would have had a different conversation. Then you got Melissa Smith can't even hit damn free throws. Hell, it's surprising that Caitlin Clark missed 2 of her free throws. Lea Boston is not a good free throw shooter. She doesn't shoot free throws well. The people that you want on the free throw line is Caitlin, Lexi, Dantes, and doggone Lexi Hall. You put every time Melissa Smith get fouled, she misses. She might make 1 out of 50. But we want to sit here and continue to give Christy Size a pass and say, well, we can't talk about Christy Size because Christy Size, y'all don't know basketball because Christy Size got all of this experience. She coached this person. She coached Megan Augusta. She could been to Chicago. She been to Atlanta. Then Lynn Dunn wanted her to come up there. She coached overseas. I don't give a darn what she did. That does not make you a great coach. Hell, I don't see assistants. I don't see players that went to in coaching and don't make great coaches. It's all right. Some people are made to be assistants. That's just the name of it. That doesn't mean Christy Size is she's a great head coach. And yeah, don't give me that. Well, the Indiana Fever they won 13 games last year. They would have won 20 games. They would have been in the playoff, but it was, they had a bad start to the season, and Melissa Smith and Lexi Hall got hurt. They would have won 20 games. No, they wouldn't. Because guess what? Christy Size don't know how to use her personnel. Just like everybody kept saying, well, Kelsey Mitchell is a baller. She's a baller. But where was y'all cheering for Kelsey Mitchell for the last 6 years? Y'all didn't see her talent then? But all of a sudden now she's playing with Caitlin. Y'all were like, oh, and she's about to come up to be a free agent. Oh, free Kelsey, free Kelsey, free Kelsey. You got a coach. You got a coach that do not know how to utilize talent. Just like Becky Hammon said. Becky Hammon said the Indiana Fever is a dangerous team. But guess what? I can tell you this. Becky Hammon sees what the Indiana Fever is and what they could become. You know why? Great coaches recognize what this talent is and what Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aliyah Boston bring. I guarantee you Becky Hammon would have got the best out of Lea Boston. I guarantee you Becky, as much I don't like Becky Hammon antics and stuff, I guarantee you Becky Hammon would do Caitlin just like she do. She would do Chelsea Gray. She would do her the same way. Let her be the driving force of the team. Set everybody else up. Kelsey Mitchell plays just like how Kelsey Plum plays on the Aces. She takes her shots, she dribble penetrate, she play her part. She doesn't get a lot of assists. Chelsea Gray is the point guard for the Aces. They feed the ball to Asia Wilson, but guess what? They all get their shots from the outside. It's not all about Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson, yes, she's an interior presence, but she doesn't like to play on the outside. She'll take her shots from the outside. Asia Wilson shoots more mid-range shots from the elbow than anything. Aliyah Boston could be making those shots. She hesitates when she gets the ball in those spots. Becky Hammon put it perfectly last night. She said that they didn't want to run with the Indiana Fever. They didn't want to get into a scoring output with the Indiana Fever. You best believe if Becky Hammon had this Indiana Fever team, you better believe this Indiana Fever team would have won at least 6 or 7 more of their games. Because she knows what that team is about. She knows that these coaches in the league knows that Christy Size is not a good coach. That's why these teams could go against the Indiana Fever, rough them up because they know Christy Size ain't got no backbone. She not gonna talk to the ref. She not gonna jump up and down. Hell, Becky Hammon jumps up and down constantly. Look at doggone Quinn Noel for Seattle Storm when they played. They jump up and down. Christy Sides don't say nothing. Her players were getting brutalized last night all over the court. She didn't try to doggone say, well, hey, Christy Sides, she didn't say, well, hey, she didn't say, hey, Christy Sides, you ain't challenged the referee. You ain't try to challenge the referee. You ain't try to say nothing to the referee. Caitlin Clark got an offensive foul call on Jackie Young, and Jackie Young, she flopped in the air, and she didn't even challenge it. She don't even challenge calls. She allowed the play to continue. She see that her team is getting frustrated. She seen her team is getting angry. But she don't even reel them in and say, hey, guys, come together. Let's keep our head. Let's not, let's play the game. If we don't get the foul, let's move on, whatever the case may be. Give them some kind of vote of confidence. They all the players on the Fever started to spiral out of control. When you start to see Lexi Hall face change, you know it's bad. You know what I'm saying? This team is playing 10 times different from what they played, what they was in the second half of the season. They came out on fire. The 2 losses that they had was against the Minnesota Lynx, which that was fine. That was all fine. That was fine, perfectly fine, because they're a top team. But when you had a chance to really beat the Aces, you didn't show up because your coach didn't have you prepared. Your last game was Sunday. You didn't play until Wednesday, and you was not prepared. Then you had them back to back, and you still didn't come out there. We can sit here and say, "Well, hey, Caitlin should have took over the game. There were certain things she should have done." Yeah, but guess what? When you got a young talent like that tried to do the right thing, and her coach keeps second guessing her, it makes her indecisive. She needs a coach that's going to allow her to play. I guarantee you this: if Becky Hammon, even the Minnesota Lynx, Cheryl Reeves, if she had her, Cheryl Reeves said it herself. She wished she had Caitlin Clark, drafted Caitlin Clark. She wished she had Caitlin Clark on her team. You know why? Because Caitlin would have been making everybody better. As much as they say they don't mess with Caitlin Clark, but guess what? Every one of these coaches in the W would love to have Caitlin Clark. I guarantee you, half of them probably will want to. Matter of fact, the Connecticut Sun coach used to coach for Indiana. Look how her team plays. They play physical, and they play, and they can score. Who you think? If you took Alyssa Thomas and Marina Mabry off of the Connecticut Suns and replaced them with Caitlin Clark and Chelsea Mitchell with the same personnel they got right there, guess what? They would probably be a top two seed in the Wnba right now. See, the thing about it is, people want to sit here and act like Christy Size is this damn guru of a coach. No, because when you got a front office over your head like Lynn Dunn that sits there and say, well, this is a building process. We ahead of schedule than normal, but this is still a rebuild. Look at your roster, for God's sakes. You got Grace Berger on the bench, who is not even getting no time. But you rather put but Christy Wallace, non-production ass, in the game over Grace Berger. Hell, you squander Celeste Taylor. That was a talent that was another talent that you could have put in there to play along CeCe and Kelsey Mitchell for defensive purposes. Imagine you had Celeste Taylor and Lexi Hall defensive purposes. Imagine Celeste Taylor, a little bit bigger and a little bit quicker than Caitlin, would have been able to handle somebody like a Jackie Young or a Chelsea Gray. That would allow Caitlin to feel free. This is the thing that we got to stop doing. We got to sit here and stop. Yeah, we give you credit when the credit due, but when you mess up, it's all right to say, hey, this coach isn't. Christy Size is not the coach for this team. I don't care what nobody says. She's not the coach for this team. She's going to continue to make mistakes. This team is going with 2 games left. If they don't win these last 2 games and they go into the first round against Connecticut, guess what's going to happen? It's going to get worse. They'll end up getting swept. These players got to show up. And just to go back to Lea Boston, the last couple of games, she didn't get no block shots. She doesn't play to her strength. The Minnesota Lynx did the second game when the Minnesota Lynx knew they was feeding the ball to Lea Boston. Guess what they did? After the second half, they shut that shit down. They made them start hitting shots from the outside. And guess what? Aliyah Boston wasn't effective because she didn't know what to do. She only had one 30-point game in the last, what, 6 games? 6 or 7 games? But at the end of the day, you want to make like, oh, Christy Size ain't responsible. Like I said before, every assistant can't be a coach. You think for 1 second that the Golden State Warriors is going not to involve Steph Curry to take the last shot? Even Michael Jordan took the last shot. And if the coverage rolls to him, guess what? He was able to find the 3-point shooter, not Bill Wellington, not Cartwright, not Will Perdue. You know what I'm saying? To take the last shot. That's like Kobe trying to take the last shot, but you're going to pass it to Shaq to hit a 3. Talk about, well, it's to build confidence. That's like asking a linebacker to play quarterback. I'm just saying. Some things you just don't do when you playing a top team. If you did that against the Mystics or you did that against the Atlanta Dream, I could say, okay, you know what? Hey, that's fine. Or even if you did it in preseason, okay, that's fine. You trying something out. But why are you trying something out now when you 2 games left to go into the playoff? What's going to change Aliyah hitting a 3, giving us a game, and missing it and going to the playoffs, and she can't hit 3s? But you want to build her confidence? Hell, if her damn confidence ain't built now, she been there 2 years. If her confidence ain't built now, then she's playing the wrong sport. She playing the wrong sport, period. So my thing is this here, man. I don't care what nobody got to say. If Christy Size has to be there next year, matter of fact, let's listen to this nonsense that she has to spill anyway, because I'm over her. I don't care. She won Coach of the Month. That shit was by accident because of what Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark didn't put on a damn historical scoring espionage to help this team down to win these games. She wouldn't have won that. She would not won that at all. But take a listen.
There with 30 seconds left and Aliyah took the shot. Could you talk us through that possession and what you were looking for in that play?
Yeah, people know it's going to be really hard to get Caitlin a shot in those possessions. Like, we want to make sure, like, she, between her and Kelsey, you give them both options. In that play that we ran, they had a pin and they had a hammer action on the weak side. And they're going to take away something, so you just have to be ready. And AB came to me right before. She said, Coach, do you want me to spread out to the corner 3? I said, be ready, because they're going to take that shooter away. And it was a great shot. It rimmed in and out. I mean, that was a great shot. This girl has gone and worked really hard on that part of the game. I have a lot of confidence in her to take that shot. I mean, teams are going to scheme against Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. They're going to do everything they can to make somebody else take that 3. So it's just on us, got to find a way to get the ball in their hands and let them take it. But I was so okay with that wide open 3 by Lea Boston right there.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
See, that's the point. She said, Lea Boston came to her and said, do you want me to spread open? She said, be ready. Why not be the decoy? Why not toss the ball in? Matter of fact, allow Dantas to throw the ball in. You be the decoy. Roll back around, free up Dantas. You had 30 seconds on the clock. 30 seconds on the clock. You had enough time to really create a way to get open. As much times that you have literally gotten Caitlin Clark open on the screen, Kelsey Mitchell on the screen, Lexi Hall on the screen, Dantas pick and pop. Dantas hit what? Dantas hit a 3 2 threes last night. Dantes hit 2 threes last night. She was 2 for 2 for 3-point line. And you going to tell me Aliyah Boston was 0 for 2 for 3 and you trusted her over Damaris Dantes? Kelsey Mitchell was 3 for 7. Clark was 2 for 8. Dantes 2 for 2. Even Erica Wheeler had 2 points, but she was 0 for 2 for 3-point line. She had hit a couple of the last couple of games. Hell, I would rather for her to did it. If you was going to experiment to do something, but you had 4 3-point people on that you could have got on the there, and you didn't do it. You didn't do it at all. So what that tells me is that you allow a player that's 28% to tell you, let me take the last shot. Okay, yeah, if she hit the shot, all well and good. But she didn't. But you should have schemed a whole nother different way. Your best 3-point shooters should have been on the floor. Dantes, Clark, Mitchell, and Lexi Hall. But see, this is the point. Christy sides favor certain players on that team. See, when Alyssa Smith play like trash, she's scared to bench her because her girlfriend will tweet it out, and then she'll end up putting her back in the game to build her confidence up. Hell, you don't build Caitlin Clark's confidence. You don't build Kelsey Mitchell's confidence. I don't see you building Katie Lou Sandler's confidence. Aliyah Boston can't even hit free throws. That's where you should be building her confidence at. She don't even hit mid-range well. Dantes hit better mid-range shot than Lea Boston. Dantes has a better all-around game than Lea Boston. She can play inside, outside. She can hit the fadeaway off the bank. She can hit under the basket. She can hit threes. She rolls out. She might not as fast up the court as Aliyah, but she's damn sure effective. She's a better shooter, a better scorer. Hell, if she was a starting center, she probably would have get a lot of rebounds. Then you're going to tell me that, well, Aliyah Boston and Alyssa Smith, they was double-doubles last year. Okay, so what's different from this year? All the difference is you have Caitlin Clark. Because see, you didn't play y'all didn't play in the system last year. Caitlin Clark is the system. So you have to play at her place. She doesn't play at y'all place. So y'all have to fit in. But like I said, if you had a real experienced coach that knows X's and O's, I guarantee you this team would have been way ahead of schedule. They would not lost to they wouldn't have lost to, I don't think they would have lost to Minnesota the last 2 games. The Chicago Sky, they would have won that game. The Dallas the Wings, the game that Caitlin Clark before the break, she had 19 assists. They would have won that game. The game against the LA Sparks, they would have won that game. Probably the first game of the season when they played the Connecticut Sun, they probably would have won that game. They probably would have won these 2 games against the Aces. That's 6 or 7 games right there, added on to their total. Now they had a chance to have at least 24 wins this season. They're probably going to get 20, 21 from 13 they had. That's 7 games over 500. Well, 7 games, more than they had last year for a winning record. But this team is not going to go as far as we think they're going to go if Christy Sides continue to be the head coach for this team. Because, like I said, if this team get bounced out the first round, how you going to get free agents to come to you? How you going to get free agents to come to you? That's what I want to know. So save me the leave Christy size alone rant, because I'm not. She had these two games, she could have easily schemed. Look at film with your team, knew where Asia Wilson likes the ball at. Stop her. Put Asia Wilson in comfortable situation. She does not like to play high against a guard. Caitlin could have had her on skates many times in the game, just like Kelsey Mitchell. Because she wants to play low. She wants to play mid. She don't like playing high. She don't like to chase nobody, especially if somebody's just as quick as her. If you had Dantas a little bit slimmer and Dantas would play high and then use her quickness to drive to the basket, she'd easy get. Because you think about it. Look how the Chicago Sky played Asia Wilson with Angel Reese and Camila Cardozo. I would rather have Dantas or Timmy Fan Bailey in the game. Well, I would have had Dantas better because she's a scorer. Dantas and Lea Boston could have played that high-low against Asia Wilson, and it would have been just like how Camilla and Angel Reese played her. They picked up wins against the Aces. How the hell the Chicago Sky, the Indiana Fever can't pick up wins against the Aces? The Chicago Sky had picked up a win against New York. They was the first team to pick up a win against New York and Seattle. You gonna tell me Chicago was able to beat them, and they don't even have half of the scoring punch power that y'all have? Teresa Witherspoon probably ain't just a better coach than Christy Size, but she make her team play physical. Christy Size don't allow this team to play physical. This team doesn't play physical. They don't have physicality in them. They whine and complain for the calls all the time. Play the game. Regroup your team. Say, hey, we need to regroup. You don't use your timeouts. You don't use your challenges or nothing. So, like, comment, subscribe. Till the next time.